What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right. So, shout out to Ticket TV for calling Jason Whitlock out for his absolute stunning and, to me, career damaging hypocrisy, reputational hypocrisy that he committed in his interview with former NBA player Royce White. All right, Royce White, I remember him being one of those supreme high flying type players, real athletic, but I think he eventually quit the NBA because of I think he has a fear of heights or fear of flying or something like that. And he's reinvented himself as sort of like a social critic, I think you call it a social critic or political analyst / something of that nature. I'll go with social critic. And anyway, he called out Jason Whitlock for his lack of aggression toward Dwayne Wade as far as criticizing him. And his response to that was, well, he's never going to do that because he likes Dwayne Wade. Saying that, wow, there are things about him that I don't agree with, but I just love me some Dwayne Wade. Do you understand how much credibility he's lost right there? This is the same man who calls out the, quote, left-wing media for not keeping it real, for being biased, and, having an agenda, a left-wing socialist agenda, as he always puts it, bias against those who are outside of that agenda, who don't have the same views, bias for certain individuals, bias against other individuals, right, etc., etc., etc. But then you go on record saying that you're not going to attack Dwayne Wade in the same manner that you've done Deion Sanders because you like him? Okay. Where do I want to start with this? Number one, this confirms further what I've been saying and what many others have been saying about how many athletes have been saying this, how the mainstream media picks and chooses their favorites. There are guys who have things done or do certain things, but because some people in the media like them, they don't report it. Or it doesn't get disseminated the same way. We know that the mainstream media and the powers to be had a thing for Kyrie, and you saw that. They tried to end that man's career based upon a lie that he was anti-you-know-what when he never said anything. But many of you weren't even aware of many of the different situations that Mongo Slade, a.k.a. James Harden, got into, slapping a Kobe fan, slapping the phone out of another fan's hand, being arrested overseas, I think in France, slapping someone in Vegas this past year, having another incident years ago with another fan where he slapped somebody. None of these things get really reported. Why? Because so many people in the media like him. Not to mention the typical biases that we see, and I'm not going to get into that a little too much in this video with the Brett Favres and the you-know-whats, all right? So that confirms that further. But my goodness, man, you're always talking about the liberal left wing and how they're destroying the black community, our morals, our values, the unsavory things that's going on in our communities. Dwayne Wade is the epitome of that. The epitome. And you don't go in on him at all? But you'll go in on Deion Sanders? There's something not right about that picture. There's something not right about that picture. It makes no sense. I have theories. I can't prove them, but I have theories. One of them is that he is afraid to go after certain aspects of Dwayne Wade's lifestyle or what he's approving of, the culture that he and Gabriel Union approves of, the environment and culture that they're involved in, and what their child is involved with. He's afraid of going down that rabbit hole because even though he calls his show Fearless, he's a coward. Okay? The guy ran from Ticket TV. The guy ran from Roland Martin years ago. You saw how easily he got rattled when Brett Favre and Warren Sapp showed the littlest of pressure against him. When those people catch wind of his black ass saying something about whether the alphabet or the alphabet culture, his ass will be eviscerated. I guarantee you. And he knows that. He knows that. So that's why he sticks to his safe, soft target of going after black people. Because he knows that collectively, even though he professes to want us to be solid and all of this bull crap, he enjoys going after us as a people. He enjoys that because it's just in his nature. He knows that we're disconnected. He knows that we don't have collectively the power structure necessary to cease this type of... We're generally seen as at the bottom of the totem pole. We have great economic power, but it's misplaced. We don't use our economic power to build. We use our economic power to consume. And he knows that. Economic power, just power in general. We're not strong in that aspect. He knows that. So that's why we're perceived as being bottom of the totem pole, and he enjoys coming after us and going after us. But he'll never go after the puppet masters. He'll go after the puppets that are being paid by the puppet masters to promote this anarchy and mayhem. But he'll never go after the puppet masters. And some of the puppet masters are in that community, and he's not going to do that. Because that'll be the end of his show. You already saw how powerful they are when they knocked out the most popular man on TV the last couple of years. What's his name? Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was heading down that road, and you saw what they did to him. They fired his ass. He damn sure know he don't have the pull of Tucker Power, of Tucker Carlson. Excuse me. That's part of it. Another thing I suspect is, and I'm going to have to talk in code here, many of us who are older have heard things about Jason Whitlock. Even though he's safely ensconced in the confines of hillbilly towns in Nashville now. And that's not a knock on Nashville. I have people who are subscribed to me live in Nashville. I'm not talking about where you live at. I'm talking about where he live at in Nashville. So he's safely ensconced in the confines of hillbilly town section of Nashville. But he used to live in California. And there are rumors, serious rumors. I don't know if these things are true, but there are rumors about Jason Whitlock. And about his former lifestyle. Or maybe it's still his lifestyle, I don't know. You could argue that people like Gabriel Union, people like Dwayne Wade, may know people or be acquainted to people that maybe used to know Jason Whitlock from 2004, 2003, 2005. And from what I've gathered, well, I'm not going to say it here on YouTube. I'll leave that for the Patreon. I wouldn't even say that on Rumble. But he may fear retribution or possibly being exposed if he went down that path. But be that as it may, no matter how you look at it, he is a stunning hypocrite. To me, he's lost all credibility. He's lost all credibility. So you can go after and attack Deion Sanders every day and pretend that you like him, but then admit that you have a problem with him. So you use your journalistic powers, you use your platform to go after those who you don't like, but those who you do like, you take it easy. That doesn't sound like a responsible journalist. That sounds like a demagogue. That sounds like a really dangerous person. And to be honest with you, the way you go after people like that, you remind me of people like Joe McCarthy. Roy Cohn. You remind me of people like that, man. Oh, especially Roy Cohn. You fit right with him in more ways than one of people know who Roy Cohn was. But yeah, this is ridiculous. So and like I said, I'm not saying he need to bash Dwayne Wade just for the sake of bashing him, but how is it that he's always talking about our community and the people who are pushing this agenda, and Dwayne Wade and his wife are some of the main ones, but you won't go after them? No, there's no excuse for that one, man. I don't care if you're the most ardent Jason Whitlock fan. There's no excuse for that. None. And I don't care if he just, he likes him. No. Look, I get a lot of shit for being critical about LeBron James, right? And I know that. I get a lot of shit for that. But one thing I've always said is at least I'm fair, because even if it's somebody I like a Giannis, if they do something or say something that I disagree with, I'm going to call them out on it. When Giannis pulled that bullshit, when he got that cheap-ass triple-double, I called that shit out. That was some lame, Boy Scout Bush League bullshit he did. You better than that, man. That shit don't count, and it shouldn't count. And I'm glad the NBA rescinded that triple-double. Now, Giannis usually doesn't do things or say things that I disagree with a lot so far, but I was getting ready to get in. I was getting ready to scathe Giannis because I didn't understand why he kept bitching and moaning so much publicly about the team. But now I see There was a strategy behind it. Okay? So now that you got Dame Lillard, we don't want to hear you complaining no more. Right? So, yeah. Even with Russell Westbrook. Yeah, I know sometimes I fanboy a little bit with him. I like him. I like Russ as a player. There are things that I disagree with him, though. I've criticized the attire that he been wearing as of late. You know, man wear no shit like that. And he ain't perfect. Now, look. If Russ was his perfect... if Russ was his... Not Russ, excuse me. If Wade was his personal good buddy friend, like family, and if Whitlock wasn't so hard bent on calling everybody else out for being biased and all that, then I wouldn't really be as hard on him. But the fact that he is so gung-ho on accusing everybody else of being biased in the media, except for him, right? And last I could tell, I don't think that he is that close or close at all to Wade. So for you to say just because you like him, you're not going to criticize him, man, that pretty much, I don't know about you guys, but for me, that takes away all of his journalistic integrity. All of it. At this point, like I said, he's just a demagogue on TV spewing nonsense. And a hypocrite. He's just spewing nonsense for views. That's all he is, man. No credibility at all. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.
Now you see something. Now you see now. You done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
I
see what I'm saying?
I thought...
No, so, you know what I'm saying? That you done fucked up now, you know that, don't you?